I do think it's worth looking at this crypto thing a little bit, only because it is a deeply, deeply old-fashioned, simple scam at this point, which points right to the White House.
It is amazing to see such historic action being taken by the White House to make the U.S. the crypto capital of the world.
Welcome to the first ever White House Digital Assets Summit. Last year, I promised to make America the Bitcoin superpower of the world, and we're taking historic action to deliver on that promise.
Your administration is moving at tech speed.
We are going to keep the U.S. the dominant reserve currency in the world, and we will use stable coins to do that.
Technology is at the foundation of the Trump presidency.
This is truly a historic day, and as a crypto founder, I couldn't be more proud to be part of your administration.
No one in this room could have envisioned this just a couple years ago.
We want to stay at the forefront of everything. This is a big day. Being in the White House is a big deal, and you have great support. Thank you all very much.
They are legitimately doing so much for this industry. So why isn't the price of Bitcoin going up? Something sinister is going on in the mainstream media. You need to know about what I'm about to show you in this video. Smash the like button, support the channel, because we need to get good information out there to counteract this hit job that's currently taking place around Bitcoin and the pro-crypto action that the White House is taking. Watch this. MSNBC and Rachel Maddow are doing everything in their power to crash the price of crypto.
And imagine Trump had just announced that the U.S. government was going to buy up tons of Beanie Babies. We are going to establish a federal government reserve of billions of Beanie Babies. I should say I am by no means a crypto expert. I'm not going to give you a lecture on blockchain or meme coins or any of that. A, I don't know, and B, I don't care. But I do think it's worth looking at this crypto thing a little bit, only because it is a deeply, deeply old-fashioned, simple scam at this point, which points right to the White House.
So this is one last-ditch effort by the mainstream media to tank the entire crypto market. They say Bitcoin is like Beanie Babies. This has been debunked for years. It is unreal that this is the argument that Rachel Maddow is making about Bitcoin.
The broad strokes of crypto trading are not complicated. It's like when there was the Beanie Baby craze in the late 90s. People started buying these stuffed animals, right? Beanie Babies, kind of inherently not worth much, but people were speculating on them, right? It was a Beanie Baby trading bubble. Other than maybe some emotional value if you had one as a child, Beanie Babies didn't have much inherent value, but it was worth buying up a bunch of them because there was speculation on the premise that as collectibles, maybe one day your Beanie Babies collection could be worth a lot of money. Cryptocurrencies operate on the same idea. They have no inherent value at all. The only value they have is if you have some reason to believe that somebody else might want to buy them from you in the future. And imagine Trump had just announced that the U.S. government was going to buy up tons of Beanie Babies. We are going to establish a federal government reserve of billions of Beanie Babies. What do you think would happen to the value of Beanie Babies? Right? Oh, it turns out there's a huge guaranteed buyer for these things. They're buying billions of them. If the whole idea here is that you hype something by making it appear that there is a market, that there's demand, that there's lots and lots of buyers for specific crypto, and people who get in on the ground floor and own it, boy, that value is going to go up. Well, it would seem that President Trump and his family and the White House specifically are now playing that game.
Look, guys, Trump isn't spending any new tax dollars to do this. He's just promising to keep safe and hold the billions of dollars of Bitcoin that the U.S. already has in custody. I think that's a smart idea. Also, he's promising to make fair crypto regulations and policies so that the industry of crypto can thrive in the US and not be driven offshore like some companies that we used to know.
Are you hanging with Diddy? I think he's in there with you. He is. And I don't know, he's been kind.
And Rachel Maddow admits anyway that she knows nothing about this industry.
I'm by no means a crypto expert. A, I don't know, and B, I don't care.
So maybe she should do some real journalism and ask actual US crypto industry leaders what they think of all this, like Coinbase's Brian Armstrong.
Brian Armstrong, Coinbase CEO here. The West Wing is right behind me. We just left the Digital Asset Summit at the White House. It was an incredible event, really a historic moment for our industry, and President Trump has breathed life back into the crypto industry. Coinbase is planning to hire about 1,000 people here in the United States this year as a direct result of his actions already in the first 60 days or so. So these policies really matter, and this is the most pro-crypto Congress we've ever seen as well. All of you all out there helped elect pro-crypto candidates with StandWithCrypto.org, and Fairshake, the super PAC out there, played a big role as well. So we're going to keep showing up, trying to be an educational resource, and see if we can get some legislation passed as a next step. There's already stablecoin legislation being drafted in the House and the Senate. There's a market structure legislation that'll help clarify which of these crypto assets are commodities, securities, payment tokens, or something else like artwork. And then I think we should get the strategic Bitcoin reserve that got announced last night codified into law too. So we're hoping Congress can work on that. Anyway, all of us can help as an industry to help show up and just appreciate President Trump's leadership here. I think the rest of the G20 are looking at America now on offense in this industry and will be likely to follow suit. So
price isn't moving up now, but it will. Have some patience. Supply is drying up as demand is increasing. Here, Vaneck's Matthew Sigel lists every single reason why what Trump just did is huge for the crypto industry and why this is all going to lead to great things for crypto holders.
This is a huge deal because President Trump has laid down a path to the U.S. being a leader in Bitcoin and digital assets and ending the regulatory weaponization of the last 4 years that drove so many entrepreneurs offshore. So he's instructed his cabinet to explore all possible paths to adding to the government's existing 200,000 Bitcoin. And Treasury Secretary Bessent also said today that he will work with the IRS to rescind and revamp all of the tax guidance that the IRS has already put forward. So I think basically this does three things. It significantly lowers the risk of the U.S. government ever banning Bitcoin. And judging from my conversations with investors, people still worry about that. It also increases the likelihood that other nations will create Bitcoin reserves, and we're starting to see motion on that front. And then it makes it very challenging for institutions and agencies to label Bitcoin as unsafe or unsuitable, which still comes up. So this establishes Bitcoin in a separate category from other digital assets, and it opens room for Congress to start the process of crafting legislation on additional Bitcoin purchases, which could be a standalone bill like Senator Loomis has put forward, right, or it could be packaged into a reconciliation. And I think applying this revenue neutral condition removes the fear that this is going to be used, that taxpayer funds would be used to acquire Bitcoin. I think that's a very savvy thing. So it's a monumental milestone for the industry, and we think there's a good chance that it leads to the government buying Bitcoin over the next year.
So big props to Trump and crypto czar David Sacks for getting this all done. Who else remembers David Sacks debunking similar Bitcoin FUD back in the day on his own podcast? It's amazing how far we've come.
The thing that all these critics don't seem to understand is the technology. That's the common denominator, whether it's like Howard Marks or Warren Buffett or Charlie Munger, whoever, they're all great investors or whatever, but they're not technologists.
It's a blind spot,
It's a blind spot. And the thing they don't understand about the technology is that Bitcoin is the first digital asset to ever be created that you can't create infinite copies of, right? So think about a song or a photo or a video or whatever, anything that's digital. You've always been able to make an infinite number of copies. Isn't that what the word digital means, is that it's infinitely copyable? So how do you have digital money that can't just be infinitely copied? Obviously, that would destroy the value. And that was the genius of Bitcoin, is that every transaction is written into this ledger. The blockchain is decentralized. And nobody over the last decade or so has figured out how to counterfeit Bitcoin, how to make a duplicate, how to double spend Bitcoin.
Hey, make sure you subscribe to Altcoin Daily for daily videos just like this. It is so interesting to realize and see that some mainstream media is still trying to crash crypto with baseless FUD like Beanie Babies. Do not be fooled. Stay subscribed. Stay in the know. Stay in tune. My name is Aaron, and I'll see you tomorrow.